Hello and welcome to Insomniac Attack on 91.3 KBLU. I'm Antonio Del Rio, and of course, Tuck is here with me. Well, go ahead, play us some more. It's the best.
Don't burn the witch.
So, today we are joined with some guests from Spooky Kidz clothing brand. Or is it just a brand? Overall brand?
Just the brand.
Brand, okay. Introduce yourselves. Go ahead. Tell us about yourselves.
Hey guys and ghouls, I'm Hilery Hypnotic, and I am the artist and co-founder of Spooky Kidz Clothing.
What's up, everybody? My name is Alan Poveda. I'm from Port Arthur, Texas, born and raised. And I'm also co-founder and manager of Spooky Kidz Clothing.
That's great. What inspired you guys to create this brand?
We were always, we grew up in Port Arthur, Texas, relatively low income, and also we were always into different kinds of music and movies, comic books and stuff like that. And we wanted to be designers or artists since we were 12 years old, right? And once you start growing up and society starts to as you're coming of age, society starts to tell you to abandon some of these things, and to start focusing on career, stability, family and stuff like that. And we wanted to continue our passions and stuff like that and find an avenue for it. And coming from our low income background and stuff, it was quite obvious a lot of people could use the help too. So finding an avenue for our expressing ourselves, our individuality, and helping others as well. It just seemed like the perfect plan for us and stuff. Just to feel proud about what we're doing on a day-to-day basis.
That's great. So Spooky Kidz is what exactly is Spooky Kidz exactly?
We're Spooky Kids. We went to Memorial High School, and we were the Goth kids, and everyone was like, you guys are the Spooky Kids. And we already loved Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids, and so we just reincorporated that, but added a Z for copyright reasons.
Of course. I think it's a great idea. I wish you guys luck with that. One of the big things, we met at the... Do you remember when we first met?
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
yeah.
we met at the suspension party. Wasn't that intense? That was a random way to meet.
Coincidentally enough, that is something that I've always wanted to do since I was 12 years old as well.
Yeah.
It almost keeps on coming back to our childhood and stuff like that, and just kind of continuing on the things that we always wanted to do as children and stuff like that. It's what kind of adult would wanted to be?
Yeah.
Whenever you were kids and stuff. So whenever I heard they were doing suspending and stuff, suspension stuff, locally, I was I have to be there.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, and it turned out so great. I got to meet you. I got to meet so many other great and interesting people.
I found that place by accident. I didn't even know what was going on. I had moved to Beaumont, and probably 2 weeks later, I was like, all right, it has to be a music scene here. So the art studio is known for live bands and stuff like that. So I went, and someone, they were like, yeah, we're doing body suspension. I was like, I kind of know what that is. I don't really know. And so I just stayed for it, and it was a very interesting experience. And I'm glad I walked in on that, because I met them, I met you guys, and Steven, a.k.a. Tuck. You missed out
you met
on
him?
that.
Oh, he missed out. Yeah, definitely.
What were you doing?
People putting hooks
in the background.
I wasn't going to miss that. People voluntarily putting hooks in themselves.
Oh yeah, it was a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
You think you'll do it soon?
Yeah, and in fact, the guy who was doing the suspension there and stuff did a lot of my piercings and stuff early on. So Adam. Yeah, so shout out to Adam.
Yeah, shout out to Adam.
Wherever he's doing tattoos at. I think he was doing it on Gulfway Drive in Port Arthur.
So, me, I'm mixed. I'm black and Hispanic. Are you guys mixed? Hispanic, black?
I'm African American.
Uh-huh.
Alan's Nicaraguan.
Ah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, being, the alternative, minority that we are.
Yeah.
listening to
definitely.
different bands that typical people like us don't listen to. What has been your experience with that?
Well, honestly, in the South, it's mixed reviews. Like, some people love us because we're, like, minorities. But then others are like, what are you doing listening to rock music?
Yeah.
Yeah, their responses like have been like varying and stuff like everyone's different. Like we live like in the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
So like some people like respond like with just like straight ignorance and stuff, and they say like oh like you guys are like getting like tied up into the devil, or you guys are like want to be white or something. But in actuality, everybody in like our scene in high school and stuff like that, we're all minorities. We're all from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Our friends have like like been like all different from different like Latin backgrounds and stuff like that, mixed African American or like Asian American and stuff as well. And we all just had like like just different tastes like in music from like our family members or things like that. So it's always been like something like we had to like deal with. But it's kind of like what would we want to like do instead of staying true to ourselves.
Yeah.
And then like we discovered like as time went on, we started to discover more people that like had similar views, and that even felt like as if from local documentaries and stuff too. I'm not saying local, underground kind of like documentaries and stuff like Afro punk and stuff like that.
Right.
When you start to realize that like you're part of a movement of reclaiming some of this history, that it was brown people just like you that went on and started this music and stuff, and it's just kind of like gotten away from like from everybody.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it feels sometimes like you're a part of the generation that's like reclaiming like some of like this music and stuff.
I agree. And one of the bands you guys mentioned was Tool, and they came out with a new song. What are your thoughts on the new song?
Well, we're happy with the new music because we've been looking forward to their new album for a long time.
Yeah.
It's been 13 years, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, 13 years.
13 years. You think they planned that out 13 years?
They did
No,
it.
I think it's
they
just-
did it on purpose.
I think it's like
numerology?
Maynard, James Keenan kind of taking his time. I think all the band members of Tool are like that.
So you don't think it's nothing to do with numerology? Or
I think he was very alluding to that with Joe Rogan's podcast, but he's also saying I'm just gonna. It just so happened to be like that.
My wife just turned 27, like just this weekend and stuff.
Wow.
Do you think that they planned on it coinciding with her birthday?
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Steven?
I don't know.
Yeah, it just happened, and it's okay. I'd wait forever for their new album if they decided to wait like a whole year or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't think everyone's heard the song, so we're going to play the song right now on 91.3 KVLU. You're listening to Insomniac Attack. We'll be right back after a couple songs. We'll talk again. Keep it locked.
How was that?
Sorry, but he's gonna kick us out right now.
You're gonna say like, you guys, I expect you guys to be a lot different. No.
Oh yeah, he's using a little more synth now. He used to be a little against that.
Like some of this like blood and gore and violence and stuff.
We
They're
saw
really,
some of that when we lived in the hood. Now we live in the suburbs.
In Port Arthur? Is it really that bad out there?
Not anymore.
No, it changed.
They
Yeah,
actually
it changed.
gentrified it.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's completely different
I mean,
when we
but-
grew up.
Yeah, but we have like some like pretty like crazy stories. Like we've almost gotten to the point now, like traveling promoting Spooky Kids. We'll like tell like some of like these stories like now, and it'll be like wow because like we'll be in Houston with like somebody from Nederland and stuff like that. They had no idea like that, it was like this like in going to school Memorial or something. Whenever we would have a Friday before like like a 3-day weekend or something. Steven, there's a riot going on.
Right, or just like a fight.
Yes.
It's like-
sometimes it starts the moment we get off the bus.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And-
it'll be like
and
50
then-
on 50.
And
like,
then what
sometimes.
happens? The cops pepper spray the whole bottom of the school, and then it goes up to the second floor, and like we
Oh,
all
man.
got it.
Yeah, I remember those schools.
Yeah.
What were you doing there?
I was just like fucking just like
You
trying
try to mind your own business. That's
Yeah,
the
you're
thing.
reminding
You
me.
trying to mind your own business. And it was just like, no, today, like, East Side and West Side decided that they were about to, like, you know, like, start a rumble. And it's like almost like 50s style. Like, we're like, there's a whole wall of, like, people on one end wearing red and a whole line of people on the other side wearing blue.
That's
And they
how
just...
I felt about the knockout game when like the bully, like the
remember
blood
that.
mostly,
Oh, man.
they'd have a lock in their hand and they make you line up. And it's like who I'm gonna knock out today, like with the lock in their hand. Yeah, that was
people,
middle school though.
people got it a lot.
High school got a little more serious.
Wait, this was.
That
This
was
is middle school.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's kind of crazy now that it's like all mainstream? It's like it's basically revenge of the nerds.
It feels like that.
Everyone's into
Millennials, Revenge of the
comics.
Nerds now.
Everybody wants
Anime's
to
big
goth,
out here.
The goth girls
crazy
are
talk.
now. It's like crazy. So what happened?
I heard like his bass lines and stuff, like he was like playing like on the Ibanez. Oh.
Animals leaders, bucketheads, toasting and boxing.
I just like that he was black and like dark skin black. Playing that type of guitar, like that was great.
Like sometimes like we promote bands and stuff like that. We've
At the
have
end of the
booked a
month.
couple. We've booked a couple like shows like at like local venues and stuff in the past.
Benji,
I've been following Tosin Abazi for a long time. He was in a band called Reflux.
I did not listen to like any of the stuff.
It was more metalcore. But he was still doing really interesting stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of
Crazy
like
arpeggios and stuff.
But he went to the School of Atlanta, Music School of Atlanta,
yeah.
and he came back and was amazing. So
Yeah, it's kind of like if you like y'all remember Fall Out Boy, right? A lot of they use Fall Out
who are
Boy to
they?
like they use that to fund their side projects. That's what's weird because like their main guitarist, he's actually like
He was
into
a metal.
He's
Yeah,
into
he was a
metal.
metalhead. Yeah, that's what I liked about like a lot of like those big name like emo bands like that.
we were talking about music. How come you guys never went the music route? You look like artists. You look like you're a music artist.
Well, we've done album art, but we're not musically talented. But I did think about doing scratchy vocals for a band like Birdie Dell from the Distillers. Do you guys remember those old DVDs that would come with CDs? Like I had this one like Hawthorne Heights DVD, and that's how I found out about Aiden, Bury Your Dead, and
Did I have that
a
one?
trade.
I think you did have that
Was
one.
it a Victory Records?
It was
Victory Records, yeah.
That was a
That was a
Victory
good
Records
one.
DVD. Yeah.
Those were
Good
good
times.
times. What bands are you guys into now?
Ooh, such a big array and stuff.
Necrogoblicon.
Okay. Okay.
This Summer Slaughter lineup like this year and stuff like that, it's like pretty.
We're actually going
it's
to
a-
the Secret Group show. The Secret Group Fest.
What is this? Tell us all.
It's
Oh, we want to know the secret now. We want to know the
Oh,
secret.
I'm
It's
not
a
sure.
secret.
We might get in trouble.
Okay.
Oh,
It's at the Inside Out venue in Houston, Texas, and you guys got to see Pac-Man the movie because they're a very independent experimental band.
I don't know if anybody's like familiar like with like that Scrams and stuff like that, 1990s, 2005.
Sounds
It's like
familiar.
or
The number 12 looks like you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard of that.
Okay, yeah. Or like See You Space Cowboy, that's a newer band too. That's
Oh,
kind of like
Space
in this
Cowboy.
genre. That's the kind of music they play, mixed with Nintendo core. So it's wild that like a lot of this like classic emo scene culture is
Yeah.
like kind of like coming back too. And you don't. It's not just like in trap music. It is like also like in like instrumental music and stuff too.
Oh, we played C2A. He's an instrumentalist. He's big into like anime too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had an album literally called Senpai EP.
Senpai EP, shout out.
It definitely is like a mixture of like genres and stuff now. Like people are definitely mixing things up. I mean, you got emo rap and like bands like Lil Uzi Vert. Would you say he kind of like pioneered the
We
emo
do
rap thing?
okay, like if when we're talking to like a person that like listens like to like top 40 and stuff like that, it's like we have to cite him, right?
Yeah.
We were like talking like recently. Hilery had like Hilery Hypnotic on our YouTube channel and stuff had a interview with LA based trap rapper Angel Nightmare. Whenever we were talking like about like to like some people and inviting them out to like the show, like we thought about like how to like describe him, and it was like the automatic like go-to name was like Lil Uzi Vert.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, we've gotten to a point where we have to like cite him and stuff like that, just because like and like people would automatically say like, "Oh, I love him. This might be some music that I might be into." And I said like, yeah, because this guy's like a lot more like, versed like, in instruments and stuff like that too. He plays like in like, several other like metal bands and stuff like, so he knows his stuff. But like this is like a new experiment, in his career, trap rapping and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's earnest, like it comes like from a true place. He's really into like, like the dark style and stuff, It's not doing it for like views like or anything like that. I feel like maybe some SoundCloud rappers and stuff like that too. They see like the goth imagery and stuff like that is like a quick way like to like get some views, stand out.
Yeah. I remember who's that? Denzel Curry kind of did that. Did you see that video? I think he did
I like his music.
Clark Cobain.
Yeah. It was really obscure, maybe.
Avant-garde.
Yeah,
esoteric.
I'll go with that word. But music is going in an interesting direction. So you guys are from Port Arthur, so like, tell us about that. Like, what was it like growing up there?
You just gotta watch it back. Well, not now. It's actually been gentrified, and it's such a nice neighborhood. But when we were growing up, and when we were in high school, there would be like barheads like searching out like your house, like asking for help, pretending, and then they'd look around through like the doorway, and then they'd like call their like boyfriends and stuff to like come rob the place.
Has this place influenced your brand, influenced your style, would you say?
Yes, I consider us as hood goth because we grew up in like
the hood.
Yeah. I guess like your environment and stuff like influencing you like in some aspect is going to, So like despite like us like like staying true to ourselves and being like fans of like maybe like different kinds of like music than like our peers around us, well we still like absorb like some like that influence and stuff too, So whenever like we hear like metal music or something, it like we're reminded about like some of the violent lyrics and stuff like that. Like maybe like someone in the suburbs is like a fan of like that stuff, but we remember back to like we've seen some of it and stuff.
We've seen like people bleeding on like our porches. Like somebody's boyfriend probably beat them, and they'd like run to your house for you to call the cops, and then you're like, no, I'm gonna mind my own business, but I'll call the cops for you.
Yeah. That's what you're saying.
And that's actually like that used to be like a pretty well-known little scam and stuff like that too. And you wanted to help the people out. That happened like I think at your house multiple times, Hilery. When we lived like blocks like away from each other. But like growing up, we had such similar stories. It was like
I lived on 7th Street. So
it was mind blowing and stuff.
If you're from Port Arthur, you know how 7th Street is.
So, did you deal with this?
I mean, I lived there, so obviously, when you're just trying to mind your own business, it's kind of hard. Like especially it's like 2 a.m. You hear something like sounds like glass exploding. It's like 2 dudes just broke into someone's house to steal a TV.
Yeah,
exactly. Or just to steal the coils from the AC.
Yeah.
That was another it was like pretty.
People breaking into like your for your air conditioners and stuff like that. Like, your window unit and stuff like that. People, the what do they call it? They call it copper game. Yeah, they were like it was like rampant and stuff like that. And if you had like a window unit, they knew that they could just like pull that out and like break into your house.
Man.
Yeah, and so you had to be on the look. Just growing up, it wasn't like you lived in constant fear or anything like that. You just like grew up like with like a more sense of awareness about like your surroundings constantly. It's like, am I being followed? Right. Are people like watching my house and stuff like that? Is this guy like is like riding by on a bicycle? Do I have to like look out?
I hear you. Wow. Well, one of the bands you guys mentioned earlier that you want to play personally is Knocked Loose. How'd you find that band?
Probably Tumblr.
Yeah.
I have a pretty good following there, so I listen to a lot of music.
Okay. Well, let's listen to it.
What's your follower count, Hilery?
Oh yeah, tell us.
You don't know. It's probably way low. But it's a lot to me. I have like 2,000.
That's pretty good. That's great.
Yeah, that's actually like a good source like for like a lot of upcoming bands and stuff like that too. I remember like we found out about Neck Deep like pretty early on. We like their EP work or like things like you'll find out about upcoming bands like they haven't even left their local scene.
Right.
Like we heard about like the come up of like the Midwest emo trend like before like it really like exploded through Tumblr.
Yeah.
So like Tumblr's like been a big aid like in like
searching for new music and stuff
I
too.
gotta get on that.
Obscure music.
We also love that 2000 emo scene, 2005 emo scene.
Yeah. Did you do the hair?
Yes, I had seen hair.
I did
The
that
jackets
too.
with the sleeves and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I had that.
Everything My Chemical Romance.
You did that too, Tuck?
Not really, no.
Waiting for their
What about you,
comeback.
Alan? You had that? The flippy hair?
Yeah, you
It's
got
okay,
the
you
same
tell
hair.
Yeah,
I
no, I'm not
remember-
ashamed of it or anything.
I remember dyeing your
See,
hair.
no, yeah, see, but
Those are the
it's a-
times.
yeah, but like it
And we
was a
still
little
had
bit
our
different
stretch
too.
lives. I bought
Yeah.
these new like ear weights,
Uh-huh.
and I love them.
Oh,
like
man.
Alan just started stretching his ears. I'm at about like 1/3.
That's cool, man. All right, we'll talk more right after we listen to Knocked Loose. That was a band, right?
Yeah, knocked loose.
Knocked Loose. I wanted to say Neck Deep, but that's
That's another
Neck
band.
Deep.
Who mentioned that?
That's
Me,
like a
I
pop
did.
punk band.
Yeah, that's a pop punk band.
That's what it
Oh,
was.
Knocked Loose gonna be mad about that one.
Oh.
So it's like whatever we can do to help out, our home countries or like, or people in a worse off situation, so that they don't have to risk their lives to to come up here. They have to fight human traffickers. They have to it's a horrible gauntlet,
That's true.
to come up here,
I
Yeah,
agree.
that reminds me, like this December, like things have been kind of rough, but we've been staying positive. My mom passed away, so I donated her bed to like a family who was in need. This elderly woman, I'm not gonna say their names, like she took in 3 orphans. They saw their parents commit suicide in front of them, so I wanted to give them her bed. And then we donated school supplies to Nicaragua's school. Oh yes,
was the
Miss
center?
Tish from the Hope Center.
Yeah, the Hope Center on the west side of Port
Like
Arthur.
she helped me find a family that needed my mom's furniture. My mom was a very cleanly person. She was an art teacher
Oh, yeah.
at Sam Houston School.
I got you. Well, what do you see for the future for Spooky Kids? Like, what do you guys want?
And our long-term goal really has been we want to go back to these third world countries and stuff like that, and we want to actually where we can employ some of these communities that we help out with employment. If they could start making some of our products, some of our merchandise and stuff, and if we could get them a little bit of work here and there, then they won't ever have to leave their home countries. That's a big factor in the lack of work and opportunities in these countries.